an accusation about Jay-Z and Diddy and a teenager, 13-year-old.
Right.
And we were speaking about just the statement.
Right.
The statement, you were saying you felt like that was calculated.
That was, the statement is something you can tell it was written by a lawyer. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, you're going to find out, like how I'll handle this. And that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like a publicist would say that.
Right. This is on your,
put that up.
Yeah, this is on,
50?
yeah, it says, I don't know what's going on, but are we still going to have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for Kendrick. You know?
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back. The NFL, they won't necessarily be associated to that.
Right. Why do you not insert yourself, but you're on top of every topic, right?
Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm participating. I'm being part of the culture. I'm just telling my opinion.
Right.
Look,
because you're part of the culture.
Like I can't say anything now. I'm out of it. I'm like I'm going to Dre's studio and just sit with Dre a little.
Right.
And then maybe I stay out of trouble.
Nah.
You know how the blogs were saying, Jay-Z was dissing Kanye.
Yeah, I don't think it was this. He was just saying don't separate us. Don't use Donald Trump to separate two people that come up from the same thing. Actually, they come up from the same camp. I ain't take it as a diss at all.
Yeah, how they flipped it, how the blogs get.
That's what that internet about, though. Jay-Z just put out a tweet and clarified it, you know what I mean? And told you, go listen to that Meek Mill album right now. I got some new Meek Mill and Drake on there, you know what I mean?
What if one of the most untouchable moguls in the game, armed with endless cash, the best lawyers in the business, and deep ties across the whole industry, suddenly found himself in the hot seat? This ain't just some gossip. It's a legal bombshell that's blowing up headlines and shaking the culture to its core. A jaw-dropping lawsuit has just hit hip-hop's billionaire icon, Jay-Z. And the accusations? If they stick, his entire legacy could crumble in front of our eyes. This isn't just about fame or fortune anymore. It's about something way darker, something that could change everything. At the center of it all, a woman known only as Jane Doe. Her face is hidden, but her claims are loud, and leading her charge is none other than controversial attorney Tony Busby, who's made a career going after giants. Together, they're unraveling a story packed with shocking claims, twisted power plays, and mystery that feels more like a Hollywood thriller than real life. Now, here's where it gets really unsettling. Jane Doe says this all started over 20 years ago during a wild after-party thrown right after the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. According to her, she was only 13 when a moment with Jay-Z turned into a nightmare she's never been able to forget. Her accusation paints a straight-up disturbing picture. She says it all went down in a locked-off VIP section of some over-the-top industry after-party. The place? Rumored to be a mega mansion rented out by some secretive A-list celeb. The vibe, wall-to-wall with flashy stars, music execs, and clout-chasing entourages all too busy flexing for cameras to care what shady stuff might have been going on in the cut. Jane Doe's lawyer, Tony Busby, isn't holding back either. He's putting that whole night on blast, calling it a carnival of moral collapse and dragging the industry for creating a space where silence is the norm and power protects the guilty. But Jay-Z, he came back swinging. His response? Instant, aggressive, and stone cold. Through his legal squad, Hav torched the whole case, saying this ain't justice, it's a straight-up money scheme. Jay's camp called it nothing more than a calculated hustle. A move meant to cash in on his name and legacy. And he didn't stop there. Jay-Z fired back hard at Busby, personally flipping the script and calling him the real predator. According to Jay's countersuit, Busby preys on broken people twisting their pain for clout and cash. This ain't about truth, Jay's team snapped. It's about chasing the biggest check. Jay-Z didn't just deny the claims, he torched them. In a brutal statement, he made it clear he's not backing down. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt, he said, calling out Tony Busby by name. What he counted on was that these wild accusations mixed with public pressure would scare me into settling. But Jay said it had the exact opposite effect. He clapped back hard, saying it made him want to drag Busby into the spotlight and expose him as a fraud in front of the whole world. And as for paying up, Jay shut that all the way down. "I will not give you one red penny," he said, and then came the real heat. "These allegations are beyond disgusting," he continued. "So if you really believe this happened, file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Because if anyone actually did something like this to a minor, they deserve to be locked up for real." Jay didn't stop at denying the claims. He flipped it and questioned the entire motive. "Wouldn't true victims want real justice, not just a payout?" he asked. Then he ripped into Busby personally. "I did some digging on this guy. This ain't his first rodeo with over-the-top theatrics. I don't know what kind of person you have to be to act like this, Mr. Busby. But I've seen your type before, and I'm not the one. I'm more than ready to deal with your kind," Jay-Z fired off in his statement, turning the heat all the way up. He didn't hold back, going straight at Busby's character. "You say you're a Marine? Marines stand for honor, you? You got zero dignity?" Then he took it even further, calling Busby out as a clout-chasing ambulance chaser in a cheap suit, and saying real victims are being forced to watch their stories turned into a performance just to make somebody else a quick buck. Jay-Z made it clear, "You messed up thinking I'm just another celeb who's gonna roll over. I'm not from your world. I'm from the Marcy Projects in Brooklyn. We don't play these kinds of games. We live by codes. We protect our kids. We don't exploit pain for profit." And he didn't stop there. Jay went off on Busby's entire operation, saying only a network of conspiracy theorists and fake psychics would buy into what he called flat-out nonsense. "If it wasn't so serious, if this didn't involve real harm to kids, your claims would be straight up laughable, but I promise you're about to find out just how different I am." Meanwhile, Jay-Z's legal team is poking major holes in Jane Doe's story. They say her timeline is messy, her claims don't add up, and the inconsistencies in her story are stacking up fast. That's when the questions really started flying. Jane Doe's credibility got hit hard. Did she actually make it into that party as an underage guest? Did someone sneak her in? Or was this whole connection to the event part of some setup from the very beginning? Then things took a strange turn. Enter Meek Mill. Out of nowhere, Meek jumped into the chaos with one of the most cryptic posts yet. On social media, he wrote, "The goal is to start false narratives to create a matrix web. If you can control the story, you can control the matrix." Wait, what? Now the streets are buzzing even louder. That post got people looking real closely at Meek, and not just because of his comment. His name was already swirling in a totally separate scandal involving none other than Sean Diddy Combs. In a different lawsuit, Diddy was accused of inappropriate behavior with a mysterious Philly rapper, and the internet was quick to point fingers at Meek. While Meek denied it all, dropping jokes mixed with wild graphic responses, his sudden link to both the Diddy mess and now the Jay-Z firestorm has people scratching their heads. Meek Mill's lawyer, the powerhouse McMonagle, has officially stepped into the storm, dropping 5 heavy claims that are raising even more eyebrows and adding serious weight to the drama. Each one more unsettling than the last. This case is getting thicker by the second. At the same time, Jay-Z's not slowing down. He's fighting to flip the script, firing off a bold countersuit and using his massive platform to go on full offense. And it's not just him. Celebs everywhere are picking sides. Some riding hard for Jay, others throwing full support behind Jane Doe and her legal squad. This battle's no longer just legal, it's a war of influence, reputation, and loyalty. Jay-Z might walk out of court with a win, but that don't mean the story ends there. Because in this game, public opinion is the one that writes the final chapter. And right now, the courtroom's heating up. The internet's going wild, and the truth still hiding in the shadows, waiting to be revealed. What do you think? Is this a money grab or something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss what's really going down behind Hollywood's biggest headlines. See you on the next one.